welcome back. I'm Richard, this is Lap of the World, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, now is a pretty good time to click the button. In today's video, we'll talk about why that is, we'll give some stuff away, and then I'll take you on a tour of the significantly improved Lap of the World headquarters here. So, stick around. Alright, first things first, let's give some stuff away. I really appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel, all 504 of you last time I looked at my dashboard. That's awesome. It's extremely motivating and encouraging to continue for the channel to continue to grow like it has, and I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. So, with that in mind, I will do one better than my last giveaway. I think at 100 subscribers, I gave away a t-shirt and some stickers, and I will again give away a t-shirt and some stickers, but I'm going to do one better. I will, this time, if you are the winner, you get in touch and you let me know exactly what color and cut, if you'd like a women's cut shirt or a v-neck or something like that, I'll make it happen. So you get a custom Lap of the World shirt, a couple of decals, I'll send it to you for free. So what I need you to do, though, is to leave a comment below letting me know what is your favorite racetrack. It can be one you've been to, it could be your local track, it could be one you really want to go to, and just explain why in a few words. And I will non-politically, at random, pick a winner and get in touch and we'll get you a shirt. But in the meantime, though, let's get on to some other stuff, because I have some things planned. Right, so let's talk about what's coming up. So first things first, we've got another track day. We're taking the NSX over to Memphis International Raceway, formerly Memphis Motorsports Park, for an SCCA track night in America. Now this will be my first track night, so I'm curious how this will go. I've heard good things from some of my friends who have been to, I think, similar events at Atlanta Motorsports Park and a few other places more, this side of Nashville, I guess I would say. So that should be fun. We're doing that on, as I said, on May 14th. Following that, I have some stuff tentatively lined up. I'm not gonna call them out yet because I haven't confirmed and pushed the button at this point. But I'm probably looking at doing at least 2 more track days after that in sometime June, July, August-ish. So I'll have some of those coming up pretty quick. I'll be making progress on the overarching project goal here finally. And in the meantime, we're going to have probably some technical pieces both on the NSX as well as the Gallardo, and probably some dots and fiddling as well. So lots of stuff coming up. Again, great time to subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm done finally. After much ado, I'm done finally with the garage, which I think will really enable me to take sort of my channel and production as well as just general automotive productivity to the next level, and I'm really looking forward to that. So with that seems like a good segue then into taking a little bit of a tour of the revised, I was going to say new digs, but the revised Lap of the World headquarters such as this. Let's see here, where to start? Well, the biggest deal is that we are now fully, as I spin around here, fully enclosed, insulated, and air conditioned, which is key given that we're probably, I'm going to guess, I'll play my I'm not a groundhog, but I'll play one on TV. I'm betting we probably have about a month before full humidity season hits in the southeast. And that will be a lifesaver then as far as being able to get stuff done in here without just melting. So let's take a walk for a second. I'll show you a couple more things in the garage before we wrap it up for today. I want to keep this short and sweet because we've got a bunch of stuff coming up, and I've got a little bit of work I need to do in the meantime. I've got the NSX needs an oil change, and I probably not brake pads, but I'm going to check them anyway. But yeah, we'll get to that in a second here. So let's take a look real fast, and we'll start with a particular challenge that I faced while trying to rearrange and reorganize things in the garage. And the challenge I'm talking about is this. There's a lip here. It's about 5 inches from the finished drywall out to the edge of the finished trim that I put on here to cover up the base plate. There was really no getting around something like this because the studs up here are 2x4 studs, And the block down here is whatever a cinder block is, about 8.5 inches, I think, thick. So there's always going to be a little bit of an offset there. And what it means, though, is it's a challenge to put things that are floor standing in here that don't take up more floor space than they should. And given the modest footprint of my garage that was, you know, town code limited, every inch of floor space ends up being pretty precious. So here's a couple of things I've done to work around that. So first, I've put in a wall hanging, I put everything on the wall that I could. So first thing, I had a tire rack here that's currently holding the takeoff Falcon RT 615K pluses from the NSX. I figure I'd keep them around because they have some life left in them, certainly the fronts more than the rears. But, you know, if I end up needing an extra little, you know, bit of tire at the end of the season, no reason not to hang on to them for a little bit. If I don't use them, I will donate them to your local drifter probably. But the good news is once I am rid of them or have used them, this tire rack will fold flat against the wall. So it will not even be a, you know, I won't even be able to smash my face on it at that point, which I consider a bonus. The next thing I did where possible is I just utilized the ledge that's left there for setting things on. So I got this Gladiator tall wall cabinet, and the reason I actually went with the Gladiator version was that it was one of the few that I found that could be wall mounted. And originally it's, you know, I designed it to be used with their proprietary rail system of, you know, garage storage system stuff, but I worked around that. And really what it is that half of the base is sitting on the ledge down there. And then it's also affixed to the wall via some plywood spacers and like 9 or so pretty significant lag bolts. So it shouldn't be going anywhere. Once I installed it, I kind of did a pull-up on it to, to make sure, and it definitely holds that weight at least. And I've been able to put stuff in here and kind of disappear it and keep it from cluttering the floor. So I've got all the jack stands and stuff in the bottom. I've got my kind of detailing supplies in the top. A store shelf for the NSX right there, and kind of some random crap here that'll be kind of, you know, it'll be a little bit in flux as far as what I put in here and what I don't, but for the time being, it's useful to get stuff off the floor. I got a couple things, you know, box of hoses and a transmission case on top of it because, you know, as you do. Over here, I've done something kind of similar with the metal shelving systems. Now, I used to have a bunch of crap on metal shelves in the other corner where the tire rack is now. I did away with those and stuff I wasn't going to need, or it was, you know, I threw a bunch of stuff out, first of all, that was for either my old MR2 that I wasn't using. I gave some of that away. I'm still trying to give some of that away. If you want free MR2 pieces, I've got a, what is it, a Mark II turbo cluster, as well as some other just bits and pieces that you're totally welcome to. If you're not in Knoxville, just pay shipping and I'll send them to you. But what didn't get given away or thrown away and has gone into deep storage in the attic back there. Now, what I'm using the metal shelving for now is what I'd like to call kind of a, I'll call it project storage. It's basically the stuff that I have taken apart right now that I'm storing so I can then get to it when I need to put it back together. So at the moment, the bottom shelf over here is some Datsun parts. The box up here is Lamborghini exhaust bits. And the shelf is half built because I staggered the legs and I need some little connectors to connect the posts to build the upper 2 or 3 shelves on it without it being a tipping hazard. But I was able to, again, offset it to where it sits back on the lip and thus flush with the wall. Which brings me on to the last thing that I did, which was I rebuilt my workbench. So I had a workbench in here that was one I had built for my old garage. It was pretty sturdy 2x4 construction, but it was floor standing and kind of bulky. I have reconfigured that a little bit. I found some plans on the internet, which I modified slightly and beefed up a little bit for a cantilevered workbench. So as you can see, this takes up effectively no floor space. In fact, if push came to shove, I could easily nose a car up under this if I really needed to. I have a little bit left to do on that as far as mounting the, I'm going to mount my vise back on it and, it's also got room underneath it to park a tool chest bottom unit like this one. And that segues nicely into tool storage. So what I've really done is I haven't really gotten anything else too special for that, but I have more just better utilized what I had. In this case, I've got this Cobalt workbench with some drawer storage and a little shelf underneath, and then a couple of Craftsman boxes. And right now, this is really holding about all that I would need. But in doing so, I've channeled a little bit of my Adam Savage here from Mythbusters, and he had a big thing. If you watch his his personal channel, he talks a lot about first order retrieval and shop organization and stuff like that. And then first order retrieval is the principle of if you use it all the time, you shouldn't have to open anything to get to it. So that's what I tried to do on the pegboard section back here, is have all of the common sockets and wrenches and screwdrivers and pliers and stuff like that I typically grab on if I'm working on a car, 90% of the time I'm going to use it. So your ubiquitous, I've got a 10mm socket, I've got the typical 3/8 ratchet, and all the common metric wrench sizes that I would use on the NSX at the very least. Now this will be in flux a little bit as I learn what tools are going to be involved with my Italian Audi product over here, but in the meantime it's a good start, and I think it's definitely way more organized than I've ever been previously, and I'm hoping that will result in increased productivity as well. So, and then I've also got this corner over here where I have the map. My goal eventually is for this corner to kind of be for what we're doing right now. So any of the, talking to the camera that I'm doing in the garage, I'd like to use that space for it. Obviously the Datsun will get kind of pushed back where I can get around it and work on it some as well. But I've got a few more arts and crafts projects for to make that a little bit more of an interesting space, kind of a, whatever you want to call it. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, but a little bit of a VinWiki studio vibe there, maybe. So, I'll see what I can dig up and make happen there. But yeah, so the goal is to have kind of a studio section, very small studio section over here that I can have I can kind of leave up lighting and cameras and stuff like that without having to move it around all the time. And then the rest of the garage be functional working space. So we'll see if I accomplish that or not. That's the short tour. I'm not going to take too much more time walking around my garage. I think I'm tired of talking about my garage, and I'd rather just get to using it at this point. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about, again, what's coming up. So we've got Memphis International Raceway, formerly Memphis Motorsports Park, on the 14th with the Track Night in America. And then I'm not ready to commit to these because I haven't pushed the button yet, but I've got at least 2 more track events in the next 2 to 3 months that I'll be trying to do. And in between there, I will be keeping busy because I've got some stuff that I need to do to the latest acquisition here. Not a whole lot, doesn't need too much, but there are a few things, and that's its own video, and I'll get to that. And I also need to kind of take some inventory of what I have for the Datsun. It's been sitting for a while. I know I've accrued a bunch of stuff for it. I just don't remember what it all was. So I probably need to do some good some spreadsheeting there, but I'll kind of take you guys on that, take you guys down that road a little bit as well. In the meantime, though, stick around. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, I think I've given a pretty good idea of what's coming up. So if that sounds interesting to you, click the button, click the bell, and I'll see you in the next video, if not at the track.